But I think one of the, drawing from the theatre background and helping people get comfortable, because we mentioned about self-orientation and that destroying quite a lot of that trust, credibility and intimacy that you work very hard to build up through these things. Actually, if you bring it right back, the more individual somebody can be and the more themselves and getting comfortable on stage, the better that presentation is going to go. So that aspect of how do you help somebody get comfortable with who they are?
Right. Well, the first principle of that is to get them off self-evaluation, because so many presenters, they make themselves nervous by evaluating themselves while they're speaking.
Right.
You know, oh, I made a mistake there. Oh, that pause. Oh, I stuttered there. Oh, am I doing this well? Who cares what you think about your presentation? I'm being brutal here. Who actually cares about what you think about what your presentation is? The ones who care about it, the ones who are listening to it. So your focus needs to be on the value that you're creating for them, not on how you're doing. That's back to self-consciousness and self-absorption. Self-orientation destroys trust. So if you walk out in front of them and you're a bundle of nerves and you're, stressed out, making mistakes, you haven't checked the technology and therefore it's going wrong and you're getting het up and you're getting fractious, all people will be doing is going, well, I can't really trust what this person's got to offer. I feel sympathy for them and sorry for them. But that's not going to help. And then you get into a vicious circle of, oh, I've messed this up. Look, they're judging me. And oh, dear. And then everybody starts judging everybody and it all goes downhill. So step one is to give people methodologies, practical methodologies, to shift their focus from themselves to the value that they're creating for their audience and get them to truly embody that and to actually forget about who they are.
And that a lot of that is done through feedback, isn't it?
It's feedback, through techniques, through some meditation techniques. I show some of them in the book. There's some that I learned very early on in the theatre production business when we were doing a lot of Edinburgh shows. We hired a drama teacher who showed us a couple of techniques that transform the way an actor walks on stage by the way in which they're actually going through a breathing technique and a thought process off stage just before they walk on.
I'm going to have to ask you to show us.
All right. Well, it's called dropping a level. And drop a level, and I'm going to give this credit to Britt Forsberg, who's actually the woman who coached us. But she taught us that one of the quickest ways to get out of your ego and into your soul, if you like, your deeper self, is to do some deep breathing, to release all the air, to breathe in and breathe out deeply, to exhale fully, to even sigh with a big out breath. So you sort of, and then you get into doing that. So you take all the tension out, you focus on your breathing, you start breathing out, and then you do a thing called drop a level, which is you breathe out, and then you'll find that you've kept a little bit of air in your lungs. You then collapse the lungs and let the rest of it out, like, and you literally drop down a level.
Right.
Literally, and you're stood there and you're dropping right down into your boots and bottoming out. And then from there, you wait until you feel the instinct to animate and say, good morning, everybody. And you come from there. So you come from this deeper level, this deeper self level, rather than the busy mind, the ego mind, the frightened mind. And as an actor, when I used to act in the shows as well, I found that I was playing an Australian building site supervisor, and I'd walk on stage trying to be a building supervisor and trying to be Australian, and I'd say the lines. But when I actually dropped fully into the level and realised that I was this building supervisor, and I was concerned about what my builders were doing on site, I was concerned whether they were pouring the concrete, which is what they were supposed to be doing, and I went right into the truth of this building supervisor. And then I walk on stage and there's a builder who's on a computer, and I'd say, good morning, Barry. And just by doing the dropping a level and getting into the truth of that situation, I'd walk on, say good morning, Barry, the audience would all fall about laughing. Whereas when I was trying to be an Australian, trying to do the right accent and trying to walk on and say in the right way, I didn't get anything.
Because people can, they know, don't they? You feel authenticity. You feel that realness when it comes through.
Exactly.
So if you are pretending, and that's why acting is not pretending, but when you are pretending at that surface level, you just won't make that. So
absolutely,
it is about being connected to who you are.
To watch the full episode, please go to the Transform UK channel and maybe consider subscribing. Or don't, but probably do. Definitely do.